Have you ever wondered why some people learn new skills very fast while others struggle for months? What are the techniques that they know which we don't know? So I researched and found out the best techniques to learn which has helped me learn 4x faster. And in this video I'm gonna share with you the best techniques that will help you learn anything faster. Whether you want to improve your grades, learn a high income skill, or want to improve your day-to-day learning, this video is going to be very important for you. We will discuss techniques like ultra learning, the first 20 hours, and a technique which you don't want to miss without which learning won't be as effective as it can be. These techniques help me make learning my superpower, and watch the video till the end and you will also do the same. But before knowing the techniques, you need to understand the why behind your actions. Why are you learning a particular thing? It might sound like an irrelevant question, but it is the most important one that you ask yourself. Let's say I find Spanish language very cool, so I decide to learn it. And after learning it, I don't even know why I learned it or where to use it. You can also fall into the trap of learning unnecessary things which are not really important to you. So it is very important to learn the things that actually matter to you. Instead, it would be better if I use that time to learn something which actually helped me. For example, I could have improved my communication skills or time management skills. Did you know that I share these amazing videos every week? So if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe to this channel and be part of this amazing community. Learning is one of the most important skills, but many of us are never taught to learn properly. So the first technique that we're going to talk about is a concept popularized by Scott H. Young in his book Ultra Learning. The author himself used this technique to learn a new language, and he learned things in 3 months which usually takes people 2 years to learn. In his book, he teaches the traditional ways of learning and provides us with an 8-step framework that will make us ultra fast learners. If you completely follow these 8 steps, you will make learning your superpower, and especially the last one is the most important one. The first step, and one of the most important, starts before your learning session. In this step, we start by researching about the skill or the thing that we want to learn. Before you learn anything, find out the what, why, and how about that topic. Now you have a plan of what you need to do. In the second step, it is time for execution. Dedicate uninterrupted intense periods of concentration to your learning, which can be 1 or 2 hours of intense distraction-free deep work sessions. But 1 to 2 hours of deep work can be difficult at first, so you can start with 20 to 30 minutes of deep work sessions. You can learn all about a language, but if you don't practice speaking it, it will be useless. So the next step is to learn by doing. Practice the skill in real world conditions rather than relying on theoretical knowledge. You will learn fast and better if you actually apply the techniques that you learn. During your learning sessions, there will be times where you face difficulties. Distractions will tempt you to leave your learning and waste time on meaningless activities. Focus on the things that you struggle with and improve them, which will develop your overall skills. But one of the best ways to actually remember everything is to test yourself often. You need to strengthen your memory recall. Don't just take notes and forget about them. Instead, use active recall, which is the 5th step. Avoid passive review because it will just waste your time. During your ultra learning sessions, there will be some mistakes that you make. It is very important to identify mistakes early on. You can do that by journaling or seeking constructive criticism. Use these techniques to correct your mistake, which is the 6th step. But the best way to ensure that you learn anything faster and retain it for a long time is to keep reviewing it at regular intervals to ensure that the knowledge stays fresh, which is known as spaced repetition, which is the 7th step. Learning for just learning is useless. You should be able to experiment with it and use it in your daily life. Every step that you have learned till now will be useless if you don't follow the 8th step, which is experimentation. So try new approaches and push your comfort zone to deepen your understanding. Before you learn another technique which helps you retain and learn faster, you might face a problem. Most of us don't study until the exams are near. For example, my friend who studied 1 week before exams, and the surprising thing is that he got better marks than me. So I asked him how did he do it. He explained a technique in which you can learn more things in less time. These techniques will help you learn and master the basics of anything in just 20 hours. Josh Kaufman teaches us how to do just that in his book The First 20 Hours and his TED Talk. You can go from knowing nothing to being reasonably good at any skill that you can think of, like learning a new language, learning how to draw, learning to code, or writing. If you use this technique, you will be amazed at how good you become, and that too just in 20 hours. There are 5 crucial steps that you must follow to fully utilize this method. The first step is to break that skill into small manageable sub-skills. Breaking a big task into smaller tasks will help you get started easily. During your learning sessions, try to focus on the basics of the skills that you want to learn. There is an interesting principle that says that 20% of your efforts will bring in 80% of the results. So figure out the 20% that will give you 80% of the results. At first, dedicate time to figure out the basics which we will use as foundation and add complex things later on. And in most cases, you won't even need the complex stuff. Study just enough to identify and correct mistakes during your practice, which is the second step. Speed learning only occurs in an environment where there are no distractions. If you are constantly distracted by notifications or your messy room, then it hinders your learning. Minimize distractions and create an environment that fosters focus, which is our third step. According to this rule, schedule focused and deliberate practice for 20 hours. In just 20 hours, you can learn the basics of anything. If this is true, then why doesn't everyone learn everything? Because not everyone follows the proper techniques or is disciplined enough to commit 20 hours of focused work towards a skill. Most people don't even start, and those who start it don't finish it. Only the select few who finish it become extraordinary. Even 40 minutes a day over a month can lead to significant progress, which is the fourth step. People just want the end result, but they forget that success is the sum of the daily hard work. So decide to push through the initial frustration, as the first few hours are the hardest. You will have many doubts and you will question if it is working out or not. But remember that consistency is the key. As the legendary samurai Miyamoto Musashi once said, pick a path and follow it till mastery, which is the fifth step. But if you want to learn a technique which will help you simplify the complex subjects, then this next technique is for you. This technique was developed by Richard Feynman, a world-renowned theoretical physicist who is famous for teaching complex things in such simple ways that even a beginner understands them. And you can also do the same by following these 4 crucial steps. Start by studying the topic thoroughly. Once you understand the topic, then explain it in simple terms as if you were teaching it to someone unfamiliar with the subject. When you explain concepts to others, you reinforce your understanding and identify gaps in your knowledge. Identify gaps in your understanding and revisit those areas in your study materials. Simplify the explanations further until you can clearly articulate the idea without confusion. This method is very effective because it enhances your comprehension and makes you a better learner. When you teach it to someone or pretend to teach, you implement active recall in which you don't just learn but you teach it to someone else. But everything that you learned in this video will be useless if you don't know how to focus properly, as you will learn faster if you focus better. So watch this video next to learn the best techniques to focus.